Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another video. Boozer here. Today's video, we're going to go over some common beginner mid-game mistakes or things that are overlooked. It's been a while since I started a brand new account, but I'll definitely try to go over things that helped me when I first started out, as well as go over some things that I've seen from other people that have started out. And just generally give you guys my experience with common things that I think really hinders progression for brand new or even earlier mid-game accounts. So let's get started here. The first thing I think most people have access to in terms of general resources is, in the beginning you have a lot of energy and you don't have really good ways to spend energy, so your energy starts stacking up, which is fine. But then the other thing that you actually end up getting is gems. You actually start stacking up quite a bit of gems in the beginning with the help of challenges and missions, and just generally being filled up with gems. But you actually don't have a really good way, you don't have really good ways to spend the gems, because the energy in the shop, it just isn't worth that much, especially in the beginning. Because your energy cap builds over time as you level up, but in the beginning you don't have a lot of energy cap, so you don't really have anything to really spend on other than shard packs. For example, you can spend it there, and that looks so most enticing. However, I would advise that your first 800 gems go into your starter champion, just because it helps you farm campaign faster, which is basically what you're looking for when so for example, like kale here, like you're looking to farm campaign faster so you can build more food, and you can basically just carry your entire roster just with your starter champion. So for example, kale, you would just pay the 800 gems, buy off the full masteries, and then just spec them out. Of course, I'm not saying that my kale is super good for anything, but he was my starter champion for my second account, and this is kind of what I end up building him in. But then this gear is definitely a lot more advanced than what a first month or 2-month player would have. So just something to keep in mind with your first gems. Don't spend it on don't spend it on like changing your name. Don't spend it on shard packs. Definitely spend it on masteries. And the other thing you could consider spending it on is the gem mine. However, I feel that this should come after your masteries, because the masteries instantly boost your champion's power and ability to help you in the game and your playing experience overall. So definitely consider getting the masteries, and especially at level 6. So make sure your starter champion is 5 or 6 star. Make sure they're 6 star, sorry, and then make sure you get the tier 6 mastery, which is probably going to be War Master in the case of all the starter champions. So what if you have a better champion than your starter champion? Then invest in that champion. It's possible that you have a login champion, maybe like Rhonda. Rhonda is actually arguably better than all the starter champions, and you want to just get her masteries instead. That's fair. That's totally fair. So I would start there, but I would definitely look at spending gems on your star champion first. So that would be the first thing that I would recommend. Second thing kind of segues into that is basically committing or your resources into the wrong champions. So I mentioned the campaign farmer, and also the farmer that maybe you might have a champion that is better than your starter champion, but it's not necessarily the best champion for you at that time. So for example, if you got UDK as your login champion way back when, and it was you were going to invest in this champion before your starter champion. The starter champions are good because they have AoE abilities which help you clear waves and help you clear the campaign, so that you can level up your food and level up more champions. For a champion like Ultimate Death Knight, that's a support champion, you have to be careful because he can't help you farm food quickly. He can't help you nuke an arena. Of course he can win an arena, of course he can do lots of things by himself, but he won't be able to do those key things to help you progress in your account. So this is what I mean by wrong champions. There's also champions that you should probably stay away from, just because even though it's kind of nice to have them as a 50, for example, especially in the beginning when you don't have a lot of 60s, you don't want to be investing champions up to 50 and then kind of just leaving them as 50. You will notice on my account, actually, I don't have a lot of champions at 50. So for example, like some of these champions I haven't touched in a year, but I don't have a lot of champions at 50. Not because I leveled them from 50 to 60. You notice I have some one-time use champions for faction wars, for example, like Mistress of Hymns, for example, and like this Soul Drinker. Like I had to use them for faction wars, but you notice that I don't have a lot of 50s relative to the amount of 60s I have. That's because I don't invest resources in the champions willy-nilly. So I make sure that I use my resources effectively, and making 160 is better than making, I would say, 4 or 5 50s. So definitely don't just invest and make 50s. Definitely make them 60 and definitely fully master them to get the full effect and power from them. So that's what I mean by committing into wrong champions. Make sure you select the champion like thoughtfully, and then pick and then basically max them out. Book them, 60 them, master them, and then you can insert them into whatever team you need them to be in, right? But make sure you be a little bit thoughtful with your resources, especially in the beginning, and then you'll have a lot better time. My next piece of advice, and the thing I see a lot for new accounts, is basically investing your energy into dungeons early. So for example, like when you're early on, you're probably trying Dragon, you're probably doing okay in Dragon, and you're like saying, hey, I can do stage 12. I can do stage 12. I'm going to put a ton of energy into stage 12, and I'm going to hope for 5-star gear. You know, this is a waste of time. This is a waste of time. Like, you could be 13, and I'm going to be putting a ton of energy into 4 and 6-star gear, and I'm going to gear up my champions. No, unless you have a team of 5 60s, I would fully commit to farming campaign for gear and experience. So for example, this is a kind of a easy, like kind of a good way of doing things where you go to brutal, not necessarily easy, but you would basically farm lifesteal gear. You go here, farm your food. So you would have, like, for example, like 1 farmer and then 3 food champions. You farm your food, and then you can farm lifesteal gear at the same time, because in the beginning you need lifesteal gear to do clan boss, dungeons, etc., until you have a good support champion that can carry and heal and revive your team. Until then, you do need lifesteal to stay alive. So you can build up at least your first set of lifesteal gear by farming food and gear here. You can have a 5-star gear. It won't have insane substats, but you will be farming food at the same time. You will have a 5-star gear. 5-star gear is totally fine. You can use it for a little bit. How long would it take you to farm 5 champions worth of lifesteal sets, usable sets? Here, you can at least farm food even if you don't get the gear. But in Dragon, you can't. In Dragon, you're spending energy basically for silver most of the time. Of course, the other sets will be useful too. But most of the time, you will not. And most of the time, you will be spending that energy for silver only. So at least in campaign, you get food, you can build more 60s. 60s is a huge power spike for you. So keep building food and 60s. Same thing goes for speed. Speed boots. Speed boots and speed set, excellent. So if you can get like some speed sets here, excellent. Same thing with food. So in the beginning, I would expect you guys to spend your energy in campaign farming these stages for gear and food. It's not as efficient as farming here 12.3, which is the most efficient. 12.6 is the most efficient for XP. 12.3 is the most efficient for XP plus silver. So usually 12.3 is the best for me. I don't bother with 12.6 because you get silver from 12.3 significantly more. So all right, so that's kind of like what I mean by don't invest too much energy into low dungeons, because you're just going to be farming silver. So low dungeons, especially early on in the game. Yeah, so don't spend all your energy there. Make sure you spend it farming food, which is very important. And we know how difficult it is farming food all the time. At least when you're farming food and have a chance at gear, that makes it a little bit more worth it. My next piece of advice is basically to follow up with the gear topic. Basically, when you guys are gearing out your champions in the beginning, don't worry too much about sets. Okay, don't worry too much about sets unless it's something very specific that you have a very specific purpose for that champion. For example, lifesteal. If you require lifesteal, yes, you need that set for like clan boss to stay alive. But if you don't need that set, if you don't need a particular set, don't worry about the sets. Just use whatever piece gives you the appropriate stats for what you need to do. Okay, so for example, my Fushan here, he's actually like one of my main damage dealers for my clan boss team. You notice that his build is basically all busted pieces, like from different sets, except I have one speed set from the speed set on him. So I just need him to hit the required stats that I need him to be at: 100% crit rate, good damage, enough accuracy to land his debuffs against the clan boss, and then the appropriate speed, good attack. It doesn't matter what set he's in. If I want him to do more damage, then sure, I can put him in like Savage set or Frenzy set or whatever set for a clan boss. But don't worry too much about sets in the beginning, especially when you guys are limited on gear. Just make it happen. Like I wouldn't be gearing champions with like, you know, my first Relentless set with no speed and no accuracy. Like you just won't be able to get any potential out of your champion if you don't gear them properly, and you'll be surprised how well they do with just the appropriate stats. So that's a big thing to think about. I know we just had a big artifact event that just passed, but for the next one, definitely something to consider. All right, next area of focus. So basically, if you guys here's another thing where I've seen where you guys start focusing on the wrong places. So I've seen people start doing for example, I've seen people start doing twins, I've seen people start doing Sand Devil, even like stage 1. I've seen people like basically farm like every dungeon like evenly. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, right? We only have so much energy. You only have so many champions that could actually perform well in certain dungeons. Focus on what you need. Focus on what you need. So if you're early game, you're gonna need dragon gear. You don't need ice golem gear. You don't need fire knight gear. Yes, it's nice to have regen gear. Yes, it's nice to have provoke gear. You don't need that. You just need lifesteal gear to help you get through dungeons, and then speed gear, of course, for your arena team, all champions. Accuracy gear is always good, and then you need spider. That's about it. To me, when I first started, I didn't do fire knight until I was like 9 months in, because I didn't have any champions worth putting in some of the gear sets. I was like, some of these gear sets, how much energy am I going to need to put into this to get like a usable savage set, usable immunity set? But yeah, I just needed a dragon gear. I needed speed, I needed lifesteal, I needed to build my teams. I needed stalwart to build my clan boss team, and ice golem was even worse. I didn't touch ice golem for a long time. There's just nothing in ice golem that was useful back then. But nowadays ice golem is definitely a lot better with provoke set and reflex set and stuff, so I don't mind spending energy there. But yeah, just like a word of warning, like things like Sand Devil and Iron Twins, that's like super late game stuff. Like for example, Sand Devil, you don't need to farm Sand Devil, especially in the beginning, because none of your gear is really worth like ascending, like to be honest. Like you want to ascend like 6-star gear. You probably don't have a lot of 6-star gear in the beginning, so definitely don't bother with Sand Devil. And you probably don't have a team for Iron Twins very easily, and the rewards from Iron Twins just god awful. So even for late game players, like even when I do it, I'm just like rolling my eyes because there's nothing in here. Like you know, you spend the energy and you're just like, what is this? This is nothing. But anyways, yeah. So just areas of focus, definitely stay focused on what you need instead of just spreading yourself too thin. And then the next area of focus, the next topic that I want to bring up is clan boss. So clan boss, it's the gateway to basically having some freedom in this game. So with the clan boss, you can basically allow yourself to do fusions, you can save shards, it allows you to do a lot of things. It allows you to book champions. It's a constant source of resources. So you want to progress as high as you can in clan boss as quickly as you can. So in the beginning, a lot of it comes down to how your champions, how quickly you get them to 60, how quickly you fully master them, and how quickly you can basically gear them up in lifesteal. Because as soon as you get 6-star champions, So 60, get your champions to 60. As soon as you get your champions to 60, and then you have masteries on them. You get War Master or Giant Slayer, and then you give them lifesteal gear. They basically can perform very well in Clan Boss. So that's all you really have to do for Clan Boss. If you're stuck in hard mode, like basically if you're stuck in hard mode, like easy, normal, you can probably do with 160 and a couple 50s. If you're stuck in hard mode, make sure your team is fully 60 with masteries. I almost guarantee you will be 2 keying brutal and looking at nightmare. That's how it goes. If you have 560s mastered, you're looking at 2 key brutal and looking at nightmare. So it's not too hard to get out of the early stages. You just need food, and you just need to spend your energy where it matters, right? And like I said, you don't need anything insane. You don't need insane stats, because all your damage is coming from either poisons in the beginning or War Master or Giant Slayer procs. So you find one poisoner, give your team War Master, lifesteal, and you're set. You're looking at nightmare. Not that hard, guys. So, you know, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. And like, you guys can say like luck and stuff, but like, just farm campaign. Farm campaign. Give everyone like common gear. 5-star common gear, guys. But yeah, Clan Boss, don't neglect it. Get as high as you can, as early as you can. And obviously you will need progression with roster. You will need progression with gear eventually, so you can push higher and higher. But brutal, easily obtainable, 560s, fully mastered, whatever gear, whatever lifesteal gear, and you're set. And one poisoner, any poisoner. It could be like anyone, monk, or like some trash poisoner. But if you get a banshee, that's frozen banshee, that's perfectly fine too. Okay, so after that, it's going to be, so another key area that people actually totally neglect is faction wars. So for faction wars, any champion you have, you want to throw it in and start doing like levels right away. So the way faction wars works is the higher you get, the more the higher rank glyphs you get, which is very important because you want to stack these up for future use, and it's like a nice stat boost. But also the way it works is like you get these materials. So you get these materials here. I'm gonna move my head. So you get these materials here, bloodstone. So ideally you want these legendary materials. So that's where you get the good gear, the 5-star, 6-star gear. Okay. So you can only start getting the good materials here, stage 13. So your goal is to reach stage 13 as soon as possible. I know it's not possible if you only have 160 sometimes, but if you have one good 60 that's decently geared, you can probably reach level 13 with you know, some obviously like 40, like whatever. A tip, kind of a tip I guess, is like throw food champions. Throw food champions with your team. So throw your 60s in, throw a bunch of 40s in, and just like, you could even gear them up. You could even give them like some junky gear, let them do something, and let your 60 just carry. Especially if your 60 is in lifesteal with War Master or something, you can definitely do a lot of work. But it's definitely something that cannot be neglected. Faction wars. Not only do you get Lydia, which is an insane reward. Faction wars is insane. Like it's an insane slog. You need deep rosters. You need concerted effort just to pass some of these dungeons, some of these waves, because they're so hard. But Lydia is worth it. 100% worth it. So, and also you need to perform well in faction wars, because the sets, the gear that comes from here is end game set. Perception is an end game set. The accuracy and speed set. 40 accuracy, 5 speed for a 2-piece. This is one of the best sets in the game. Every roster uses this set, so very important. You guys should farm it right away. It's a huge gateway into good gear, so definitely focus on that. Quick little point: if you guys are in a clan and you guys are able to access this, if you guys have clan gold, this is a big boost, because in the beginning you don't have any access to 6-star accessories, because most likely your spider progression is not there. So buying these 4-star, 5-star, 5-star, 6-star accessories are actually very huge. Yes, it's super random, but if you have extra coins and you have nothing to do, then this is very good. Okay, so make sure you guys keep that in mind. Moving on. So I guess in that same train of thought, we have forging gear. Don't forget to forge gear, especially in the beginning. You want to be able to forge all your gear. Your best gear most likely will be forged in the end. So don't forget your forge the gear. If you're just getting bad pieces, just sell them for silver. It's a huge silver mine. This is our silver mine. So make sure you guys don't forget faction wars, gather and store up the material, and then forge gear. Even 5-star, for example, like 4 or 5-star perception gear for a new account, very good. Obviously if you get a 5 or 6-star, very good. And since perception is only a 2-piece, very easy to connect, and then you have extra 40 accuracy and 5 speed. So make sure you guys don't forget about the forge. Yeah, and another thing, like something that also gets neglected quite a bit is the Great Hall. Get the sunglasses out, guys. But the Great Hall, don't forget about this. You guys have to focus on this because it gives you a very relevant stat boost. The stat boost helps in lifting some pressure from your gear, so your gear doesn't need to be that good from your farming. But of course, the Great Hall comes from arena tokens, which don't come super easily sometimes. But make sure you guys put an effort in to at least do the fights. You guys can look for easy fights, one-man defenses, or like just low-level teams. Try your best. Make sure you guys put in the effort and gather the medals. Use the medal during CVC so you guys get extra points. But Great Hall, don't neglect this. The accuracy boost, crit damage boost really helps. So I would focus on accuracy, crit damage first for beginning or mid-game accounts, of course. Resistance would be more end-game. Attack is specialized, and HP would be better than defense. So that would be my priority. And then lastly, shard patience. So this is something that I see that obviously, like, it's a game, we want to enjoy it. You guys can pull your shards whenever you want, whatever. But if you guys are going to play this game long term, if you guys want to play this game like low spend, free to play, you guys need to be patient with your shards, straight up. So you guys need to be patient with your shards because it gives you guys flexibility on choosing fusions. It gives you less pressure. You guys can maximize your pulls. Basically, like, over a length of time, if you don't pull your shards during good events efficiently to maximize your chance at legendaries, you just will have less legendaries. And over like a year, 2 years, it's going to be a significant amount of legendaries that you're giving up to basically pull YOLO style, I guess. So that'd be my advice. If you guys can help it, save your shards. If you guys are, of course, in the earlier mid game, I recommend 2x events. So basically you double your chances during said event. So for example, right now we have a 2x event for void shards. So 2x chance for epic and legendary champions from void shards. So if you guys were early in mid game account, this would be a pretty good time to pull your void shards during a shard event like a champion chase, plus the 2x chance for your certain shard, because you want to do that because your chances of getting epics also get doubled, which sometimes are more valuable than legendaries, because in the beginning you don't have books. So in the beginning, epics become more valuable because you don't have books for legendaries. And if you fully book an epic, that epic can perform very well for you for a long time, even better than a non-booked legendary most of the time. So that's why I say, like, always go for the 2x events if you guys are brand new. If you guys are later in the game and you guys have more flexibility in your roster, definitely you can save your shards for other events, more targeted events like 10x for certain champions, or you can go for more kind of like gamble style events where you get like high reward, higher risk type events, like the pull one get one legendary from like sacred shards. That's pretty high risk but pretty good reward. Of course there's ways to mitigate the risk by tracking your mercy and so forth, but I'm not going to get into that. But yeah, so shard patience, it goes a long way. It helps you get fusions as well, so it's something to consider. And fusions, any legendary you add to a newer account is going to be helpful. So that's what I'm saying, guys. Make sure you guys hold on to your shards the best you can. Don't just spend them willy-nilly. They are basically resources and currency in this game. So anyways, hopefully you guys found this quick kind of video, just going over some of the things we miss along the way when we're starting out. I hope it helps some newer players get a grip on what's going on in the game and how they can keep some focus in the game, because there's a lot to do in this game, right? But yeah, anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.